Hi, I'm Dr. Helen, founder and chief engagement officer of Dr. Helen Holton and Associates, and your host for Dr. Helen Speaks: Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership. Welcome to the show today. As a strengths, resilience, and leadership coach, I take a stand for leaders like you to grab hold of your greatness and to go for the goal. You know, that you want more than anything in your heart of hearts. Now, each week, we'll explore topics to help you uncover, discover, and unpack ways to leverage your strengths, the best of who you are, understand and manage weaknesses. Hey, let's confess, we all have them. The key is to help you identify them so that you know how to move around them and build your resilience using my innovative system with proven results to increase your performance, productivity, and prosperity potential. You know, the bottom line. We're all interested in the bottom line, and it's not always measured in dollars and cents. But we all have that bottom line that we're after, that we know when we've gotten it. And prosperity potential is just a more encompassing way of phrasing it. So, as your show host, guide, mentor, coach, connector, and convener of leaders, we'll talk about how you can maximize and optimize your leadership. Do you have the opportunity to do what you do best every day? I do. And I love it. Yes, I love it. And I want that for you. You know, one of the most effective ways to make that happen is to deepen your EF. Want to know what your EF is? It's your engagement factor. That's right. We all have it. And recognizing it, and building it out brings back bigger returns and dividends all the time. It works. Now, we're here to help you increase your engagement factor, to develop your unique path to have more of what you want, what you really want for your life. Now, I'll tell you, after years of learning, falling, failing, giving up, and starting over, I realized that when you stick with what you know to be your calling or life purpose, it'll happen. One of my greatest recent life lessons is that delayed does not mean denied. How do I know that? I'm a witness. Me being here today with you is proof that dreams, those things that you put out there, they have a way of coming back. If the little steps you're making, the building blocks, are all somehow leading you there. You don't always know how they're connected, but if you know what you've been called to do and what your purpose is, and you stick with it through the highs and lows, you'll get there. Think of it this way. It's kind of like the stock market. You know, since the beginning of the stock market, it's been up and down and up and down and up and down. The one consistent thing about it is that it continues to go up and up and up when you stay invested in it. Otherwise, you'll watch other people's investments rise and you'll be sitting there saying, well, what happened? What did you do with that seed planted in you long ago? Did you invest it wisely and see it through the good times and the bad times to get to where you were, to where you are? That's what it takes. So our goal is to help you get on the path to live your best life ever and help you stick with it to achieve it on your terms. Dr. Helen Speaks is here every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. You can also catch us on Roku TV and soon and very soon on Amazon Fire and Apple TV. So look me up, follow me on LinkedIn. I'll be going live there this week, I think. I don't have my calendar in front of me, but very soon. And as we're planning, tune in, catch me on LinkedIn, and I'll let you know what's going on, not just here, but wherever Dr. Helen shows up in the world. How about that? We'll share with you from the wisdom of lessons learned, lived experiences, and earned expertise. cultivated over years from women leaders just like you. Listening to you, hearing your stories, helping you achieve what you want most out of life, and those who I've admired and had the honor and privilege to have real life conversations with. But even the ones I haven't had have definitely kept me moving forward towards what I wanted to learn. And I'm passing that on to you. So this is how we ignite your spark or fuel your flame to do, be, and desire what's possible for you and your life. It's our way of paying it forward. It's my way of paying it forward. Because I've been blessed for so much, I want to be a blessing to others. So here I am. We're here to talk strengths, resilience, and leadership, or as I call it, Strengthsilient leadership. We begin each show with an attitude of gratitude. Personally, before I even get here, I'm giving thanks for you. And a thank you to Paula Fellingham, the founder, visionary leader, and dream weaver of the Win-Win Women Network. And it's a global network driven by a purpose to connect billions of women across the globe to grow, learn, share, motivate, and inspire each other to succeed, all while building a connected global community. How awesome is that? Now, from my perspective, what really makes this work is engagement. It's the glue that makes life happen deeper and bigger. It's that building block. Engagement is really all about our relationships, how we support and share and grow together. Our engagement is embodied in our relationships. It lives at the core of everything we do, even those things we do with ourselves. Now, before we jump in, I want you to grab your note-taking device, pen and paper, phone, tablet, computer. Oh, Lord knows we have so many ways to capture those things we want to remember. I heard a speaker once say, I'll never forget. She said, when you think it, ink it. Great idea. Now, I didn't catch hold of it the first time I heard her say it, but a couple years later, I heard it, and a couple years older, and I said, that's a good idea. So instead of those little sticky notes I used to have all over the place, I have my handy dandy phone and keep a running tally of those things that I think about, not necessarily knowing what I'm going to do about them. But if I don't ink it when I think it, it quickly disappears. But most importantly, we're here to empower you. We don't want you to miss anything. And just in case you do, you can always catch the replay. You ready to go? Great. Me too. Let's jump right in. Our topic today, oh, and it's a goodie, overcome the overload. How to win over the overwhelm of burnout. How to win over the overwhelm of burnout. Is your life sending you signs you might be in the overload or burnout? I trust me, there are ways for you to interrupt it, to just interrupt that madness. The key, though, is that, first of all, you have to understand it really is real. And there's more writing about burnout and overload today than I recall ever having it hit my inbox. But we're going to focus in today on how to win over the overwhelm of the overload. I just love those alliterations. It was C's for a couple of weeks. Now we're into the O's. Who knows what it'll be next week? But this topic today takes us to that sweet spot that I love to talk about and share with you, and that is resilience. It's really a power source for moving your life forward. It's a key element needed for this challenge. The key element, aside from resilience, because that's really going to get us there, is attitude. Attitude, man. I can't tell you enough how much your attitude impacts the altitude of your success, of everything you do. A good attitude gets you good results. A great attitude gets you great results. A bad attitude gets you, we don't even have to go there. We've all had one every now and then. And we know it's not the best of who we are that we're bringing forth into the world. But this is where one of those resilience tools I talk about when we're building your resilience, having a positive mental attitude. It really makes sense and it matters a lot. I remember in grad school or undergrad, and the subject came about, oh, why are you so Pollyannish? And so I actually went off and looked up, what does it mean to be Pollyanna? Well, Pollyanna really is a good thing. Pollyanna is like a positive mental attitude. Pollyannish, as I might say, is taking these things to heart that make a difference. Why not see sunshine even in the rain? Why not see a silver lining in every cloud? Think the best of life, and life will help you manifest the best. An optimistic and open attitude works wonders to help you win over the overwhelm of the overload you may be experiencing. Now, if you're not experiencing it, I can tell you, it's been creeping up into my consciousness, and I've had to lean into my resilience to say, oh, wait a minute, we got some things we can do here. Being caught up in the overwhelm of the overflow, I noticed when my to-do list was getting really, really long, it was overflowing. It just seemed like every time I scratched off one item from the checklist, I had 3 more to replace it with. And by the way, you can't put all the blame on the COVID-19 pandemic. Yes, it's playing a part because, we're a little burnt out from it. However, we've been living with it for a minute, so get over it. And not a reason to say, this is why I'm in the overload, but it does play a part. According to the National Institute of Health, the 3 main symptoms of burnout are, number 1, exhaustion, being physically drained and emotionally worn out. When you're halfway through the day and you're like, oh my gosh, it's only 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, that lack of energy that kicks in. The daydreaming out the window because you're in the overload. Second reason or symptom of burnout is alienation from work activities. Being highly stressed and frustrated, cynical about work conditions, and some work colleagues, disengaging from your responsibilities, not only those that you need to send upline, but the responsibilities you have for people who report to you. Disengaging, disconnecting from it. It's a real deal. Don't worry. There are a lot of us that are experiencing it. So exhaustion, number 1. Number 2, alienation from work activities. Yeah, think about it. Checking out your Facebook page when you really should be working on that report that has a deadline, or trying to figure out what are you going to fix for dinner when you've got that call coming up in 5 minutes that you just don't want to take. Yes, and Zooming today is a reality of life. Other ways that you might be avoiding work conditions, alienating yourself, disengaging from your responsibilities. We talk about that when we talk about well-being, and that has a lot to do with how you get over the overload. Thirdly, reduced performance. Yeah, I said it. We're here to help you increase performance, productivity, and profits. Well, if you're in the overload, you're probably experiencing some reduced performance, negative feelings about those tasks you have to complete. And it's not always in the workplace. Think about how many of us are caring for family members. Thank goodness they're older and they're still here, but that's an added responsibility that you're taking on in your home life. Hard to concentrate, a lack of creativity, Oh, I got to come up with a new idea for the next show. Something that simple. Yeah. But I've got lots of content, so don't worry about that. Years ago, I remember my pastor shared these words with the congregation. I call it real wisdom. She never said where she got it from. When I asked her about it, she couldn't remember. So I heard it first from her. And she shared from the pulpit, "Blessed are they that are flexible, for they shall not break." Oh my goodness. Can I just tell you, as much as that calmed my spirit then, it still does. Flexibility. Think about it. Oh, it's like one of those images when you talk about resilience, and you see a lot of these in Aruba, those trees that have naturally bent and their leaves go that way and they lean and you're standing up looking and it's like, oh, there's the tree. Flexibility. The overload can take you to a breaking point if you're not careful. How do I know? Because I've been in that place of crash and burn. I would just shut life down, shut everything down, go to bed, get some rest, get right back at it when I woke up, wash, rinse, repeat. Well, I don't recommend that strategy. It's definitely not a healthy or sustainable way to confront the overwhelm from your overload. No, not at all. It just creates a new cycle that interrupts you moving higher and higher and higher in life where you want to go, where you're destined to be. So having a practice of resilience helps you recognize the warning signs before they have a chance to reach full-blown overload. Whew. What a relief. There is a way to take this on. Build resilience. So one of the ways of building your resilience or working to get out of that overwhelm begins with your attitude. And it works best when you combine it with commitment, consistency, and courage. So one of the ways to get your win over the overwhelm of the overload, it starts with your attitude. And as I said, having a positive mental attitude is a great resilience element. It begins there. Now, in the consciousness, you got to be committed to it. If you just say, oh, yeah, I hear it. No, commitment. And you've got to do it consistently. But most importantly, you've got to have the courage, because your inner critic is just having a field day as you're approaching crash and burn. Your inner critic saying, yeah, come on, let me knock you down a couple more notches. No, we're not having any of that. Get your courage going. You know why? Because your own well-being is hinged on your ability to have a better work-life balance. That's what's going to help get rid of that overload. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? I want you to write that down on your note-taking device. What am I willing to do to improve my work-life balance? It's just that simple. Don't just hear me say it, write it down. It has to do with energy. It has to do with how your brain works, that when you reduce these things to writing, that those thoughts that just cross your mind back and forth, when you write them down, it gives more energy. You've got a greater probability of doing something about it. But it takes courage to step into the unknown. And in some instances, this is an unknown because you've been on that wash, rinse, recycle, wash, rinse, spin, recycle, do it all over again. No, we're interrupting that today. We're stopping the madness. If you're experiencing overload or burnout today, in full transparency, it certainly caused me to pause and reflect on my why. What matters most to me? I felt it creeping up on me, and I had to make some adjustments to confront it, to deal with it, and to breathe. Man, sometimes just taking a deep breath and allowing your mind to drift into anywhere other than where you are can make all the difference in the world. Now, you may be sitting there saying, all right, Dr. Holden, Dr. Helen, what are you talking about? Yeah, and your point, the point is this: overload and burnout are very real and in new ways. Nothing stays the same, and burnout is always working to catch you off guard. The good news is you can do something about it, and you can do it today. I didn't just come here to talk about doom and gloom. I came here with some answers. The overwhelm of overload is just sitting at your doorstep. For most of us, actively engaged in life and work. What's at stake when you don't address it? Your well-being, the ability to better balance your work life and your personal life. Your resilience is the opportunity to put in place daily habits and practices to help you navigate and manage the overload. When you build it, it's always available to you. But you've got to be committed to it. You've got to be consistent with it. And yes, it takes courage. The courage is what you use to help make it a priority for your life. So it's not a quick rich scheme, get rich quick scheme. Woo! No, it's not one of those. It takes time. But here are some things you can do. You ready? Number one, take a time out. What do you do with cranky toddlers? You give them a time out. Well, that's the new way of parenting. I don't know. But it works. I've seen some kids given a time out, come back with a new attitude. And I'm talking about a physical timeout, a mental timeout, an emotional timeout. Just step out of your routine, step out of the grind, and do something you love. Whether it's for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, whatever you can get away with. You know, yesterday was a bright, sunny day. And, you know, me and winter, the short days, all of that really, give me the blues. They do. I even had my little light that I just recently got to help give me a little more. But I said, you know what? I got 40 minutes in between a call. I'm going to take a ride with the sunroof open. It wasn't that warm out, so I didn't have it all the way open. But the light and the sun, oh my goodness, I took a little ride and then I parked where I could just revel in the sun. Can I tell you how good it felt to feel the warmth of the sun and to look out and see wildlife outside, the birds, squirrels. Yeah. And just to look at the trees and notice they seem a little like they have a little more life to them. It was amazing what a 30-minute disconnect did for my day. Yeah. Number two, connect or reconnect with someone special to you. Call a friend or family member, a college roommate you've not spoken to in years. Do something out of the ordinary. Exercise your gratitude attitude. It could be on a call, customer service call or something. Say thank you. Give thanks for the ability that you got a live person. Capture those moments that you really have to be grateful for and write some down. You could take 5 minutes and write down, what are you grateful for today? How's your life been blessed? That's number three. Number four, binge watch something entertaining and meaningless. Okay. I can remember when Bridgerton first came out. I was just like, and a girlfriend, I said, yeah, I'm watching. I said, Bridgerton, what's Bridgerton? She said, oh, it's on Netflix. Can I tell you, I binge watched all of it. When I got to the last episode, I was okay, where's the next one? And there was no more. But what it did for my disposition was it got me motivated and back in the swing of getting back to my grind. Yes. Number five, create a new routine that de-stresses you, like new exercise routine or meditation, yoga, prayer, journaling. I just took up Pilates again. Great way of stretching the body, freeing the mind to not be focused on what you have to do for work and supporting my wellness, my well-being. Number 6, go out and play. Just like on a sunny, warm day, you might tell your kids, get out of here, go outside and play. Well, let's face it. At the end of the day, though we're adults with responsibilities, we're still big kids too. Go out, play, have some fun. Number 7, volunteer some time for a worthy cause to help you reframe your purpose and intention for your life. Volunteering, giving to support others in needs greater than your own is a wonderful way to interrupt, to disconnect from burnout. And it makes your inner critic, just drives your inner critic crazy. Yes. Number 8, set boundaries. If you're working from home, set a realistic time to get off that computer. Don't take another meeting. Put do not disturb on your phone. Regulate your screen time. And we're talking screen time beyond your computer. Regulate your screen time on your cell phone, on your tablet, in front of the TV. Read a book. Do something different. Break up life. Number 9, I love this one. Socialize. Yay! Whether it's a Zoom happy hour or a live happy hour, do something different. Yes, get out of the box. Socialize. It's a great time to start acquiring some new friends if you say, I don't have any friends to socialize with. Make some new ones. Number 10, appreciate you. Practice some personal, on purpose, love on me time. Take a hot tub bath, light some candles, play some music. I don't know, go get a massage or a facial. Appreciate you. Yeah, you matter. Every time you show up to do you, it makes a difference. And we want you to be engaged to do that as well. So, what's all this been about? There's some of these things you can do right after this call. So just wait till we're almost done. Right after the call. Right after this show, you can, take some of these things and make them happen for you. I know they've made a difference in my life. And here's the thing. Burnout really is counter towards your success, growth, and prosperity. It's one of those areas that can create a logjam, stuck. Think about when your sink gets clogged up. It's full, it's overloaded. Time to turn on the garbage disposal. Whatever it is, you got to clear it out. If you don't, you're stuck. You don't get to move forward. And my mama taught me a long time ago, there's no such thing as standing still. So if you're not moving forward in your life, guess what? And you're moving backwards. Let's turn that thing around. Let's get back on the right track, moving your life forward. Leaning into the best of who you are, let your strengths help you manage those areas where you need a little extra support. So I forgot to ask you the question I ask every week. I'm going to ask it now. Do you have the chance to do what you do best every day? If you do, that's great. It's something we share in common. And if you've picked up a few nuggets to stretch and grow even more by putting in play ways to win over the overwhelm of the overload, I'm telling you, it can sneak up on you and you don't want it to happen that way. It usually doesn't, but when you aren't consciously aware of it, and this goes back to building resilience, that you can pull on one of those tools or two of those tips to really move it through. It doesn't mean that you won't feel the encroachment of it. It just means you have a way to get rid of it. So if you're not there yet, our goal is to help you get there. Keep coming back for more. I'm living my best life ever, and I want that for you too. So join Dr. Helen Speaks, Strengths, Resilience, and Leadership here on the Win Win Women Network every Tuesday, 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll work to help you live your best life ever, living into your gifts, your graces, all of what you want for life, and making it real for you. Join me.